Hey YouTube, it's the Salty Coral Tank coming at you live from my pseudo fish room down in the unfinished basement. I'm going to talk with you about my RODI water production and how I doubled it. This is pretty easy, and I think I had trouble finding some write-ups on how to. I had to do a little digging. So I'm just going to tell you how I doubled my water production with little effort whatsoever. Okay, so I'm down here by my unit, and just to let you know, I have an AquaticLife Classic 100 gallon per day 4-stage RODI. I got this a couple years ago, maybe March or May 2022 off of Amazon, and it had served me very well as it was for a very good amount of time. However, I occasionally forget to produce water, and then I get in a pinch and I'm like, man, I don't have any RODI water, and it takes forever to make it, and I wanted to double my production if it were possible and very easy. So this is my second RO membrane. I had some trouble finding the write-up, so I'm going to tell you exactly how I hooked it up in the back here in just a moment. Okay, essentially this is the back here. Essentially all I did was take the waste line from my original RO membrane, tied it into the feed line on my new RO membrane setup, and then I teed in the production water to the production water on the other side, and then now this waste is actually going to waste. So it's waste to feed, production to production, and then waste to actual waste. That's pretty much as simple as it was. That's all I had to do to set it up. So I'm going to go to the back of the my RODI or my saltwater setup to show you what I do to make water now. First things first, I go ahead and I plug my Smart Buddy booster pump in. That way it has some power and the blue light is on. When I make water, before I bought this pump, my pressures were actually 30, 35, something like that, whereas my head pressure from the well is about 50. So I think just making its way through all the small tubings, it dropped a lot of pressure. So I really needed to up that pressure. And now it's about 80, 85. So my production went way up, and I think my waste also went way down when I bought this booster pump. So that's plugged in. And now I'm back into the quote-unquote front of my setup. I'm going to go ahead and crank this on, and then this is going to flush through for about 15 to 30 seconds to hopefully eliminate the TDS creep on this thing. If I can do this one-handed, there we go. So you can't really hear the unit. It's flushing now. And then my production pressure is going up. See if I can't brighten this up a little bit. So I'm at 60, 70, it's crawling up. Once it actually pressurizes, it'll be up to about its 80, 85. And you can see it's eliminating some of this air. Once it's done flushing through, I think that pressure will go way up. But you can kind of see now that this is just pouring out, and this is a lot faster than it was before. So essentially I get around 8 gallons per hour. It takes about 4 hours to fill this trash can up here, and it does it really fast, whereas before it took almost 8 to 12. And before I bought that booster pump, it took probably a good 24 hours to fill this up. Believe it or not, I was wasting so much water, and then my production was also very, very low. And so here's the pump at work. I guess I never really did a review of this Smart Buddy booster pump here. This is also actually, from AquaticLife as well. I got this from BRS TV, and I think that I would buy it again every year if I had to. I mean, obviously, hopefully this lasts longer than a year, but I'm just kind of saying that this thing is game-changing when it comes to at least my water production. I'm on a well, so essentially I've doubled my production, and this thing will pay for itself pretty quickly. I'll save on my DI resin. I'm gonna, double my production speed in case I forget to make salt water, which I do. I'm kind of forgetful sometimes, or just in a hurry. I just don't think about it, and it's bam, it just hits me like a brick wall. Oh my gosh, I need salt or my tank's gonna run dry. Okay, so it's pretty loud when it's making water now, but it's right under 80 psi. And like I said, it was 35 before I bought this booster pump. And I lost a little bit of pressure when I added the second RO membrane because I was up to almost 90 psi. But 80 psi, 75, 79 is going to be way better than 35. So overall, I'm happy with the setup. I'm real happy with the production. Again, it's doubled. One thing I do want to note really quickly is that I may actually have to add on a couple stages, maybe a cation, anion, and a mixed bed resin stage, because my TDS creep, it's kind of high right now. It's, I believe, 4. So if you can even see this, that'll be, yeah, it's reading 4 right now. I just turned the unit on, but I still notice it as 4. It was 2 the other day, then it was 3. So I do get a little TDS creep, and I'm not sure if my resin is depleting just that quickly, but if it is, I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that, because really, honestly, I should be changing this now if it's stable at 4, because that's a lot more, crazy stuff getting through your water at 4 TDS as opposed to 0. So just keep an eye on that if you do anything like this. Obviously, you want to keep an eye on your TDI or TDS as your routine maintenance on your pumps and stuff like that. Anyway, so just keep that in mind. You may have to pay attention to changing some of these filters out, and I haven't changed a carbon block filter in a while, so it's probably about due. All right, well, that's basically how I've been keeping everything happy here in the past 4 or 5 months going on. Just making water like that when I need, and then of course mixing it up into salt water really quickly, and then putting it on auto, and then it just takes care of itself with my auto water changer. So now you know, and also now you know how to double your output if you're looking forward to doing that, or if you just want to increase production altogether. One thing that really boosted it was buying that Smart Buddy pump. I can't tell you how big of a win that was in my book. It was about $130, but it's going to pay for itself. You're not going to burn through your DI resin as quickly, and you're going to make that pressure shoot up to the best pressure for your membrane. They work most efficiently at 80 to 90 psi, and I was getting 35, so I was wasting a lot of water trying to do that. And then now I'm able to go from 4 gallons per hour to 8 gallons per hour, or 200 gallons per day whereabouts, instead of just 100. Not that I need to make that much, but like I said, if I'm in a pinch and I forgot to make salt water and my pump's running dry, I can make up some fresh water really, really quickly and mix it and have it available in 2 hours versus 1 hour if I'm in a pinch. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, give me a like, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks, and have a good day. Happy reefing, and enjoy your weekend. Also, a quick update on the TDS creep. It's been running for about 5 minutes now. It's dropped down to 3. I'm hoping it continues to drop, but I'll have to keep an eye on. Nope, there it just dropped to, oops. So it looks like it's trying to get back down to 2. So the TDS creep is probably going to drop, I would hope, down to 0 in the next 20 minutes of production, the way it's looking. So it's teetering back and forth from 2 and 3, and these are only in increments of 1, so it's not going to tell you point some odd that it's 2 point some odd and stuff, so that's why it's probably flipping back and forth, but it's doing pretty good. My TDS creep is going down from 4, and then hopefully it'll be 0 like I said in a few minutes.